During my study break, the Lord did a deep work in my heart. And one of the means that He used to do that was this little book by Octavius Winslow titled Personal Declension and Revival of Religion in the Soul. It was a book that God used in such a profound way over the last couple of weeks that I am left with the desire to share it with you. And I considered possibly buying each one of you a copy and encouraging you to read it. But I recognized that given the fact that it was written in the 19th century, and given a number of different reasons, probably 85% of you would not actually read it if I bought you a copy. And so I thought instead that these weekly videos could be a great way for us to work through the material of this book together and to unpack it and to wrestle with it in our souls and to wrestle with it together as a church. And so that's what I intend to do over the next number of weeks. Not sure how long it's going to take. I don't intend to move quickly through it. I want us to chew upon these things and to allow the Lord to plow deep into our own hearts through them. Now, one of the reasons why I think most of you would not read this book if I bought it for you is just the title itself: Personal Declension and Revival of Religion in the Soul. That's not a way that we talk today. We don't use that kind of language. This would have been very common language in the 19th century, and quite frankly, common language throughout the history of the church. But just take the term religion, for example. That is a term that we today tend to view in a negative light. It's very common for people to say things like Christianity is not about religion, it's about relationship. Now, for someone like Winslow, that wouldn't have made any sense because religion for Winslow, and religion as it's been understood throughout church history, was nothing more than one's relation to God. And the scriptures make clear that all people are fundamentally related to God. Every single person on the planet is religious. The question is not whether or not Christianity is a religion. The question is whether it's the true religion. The question is not whether or not you are religious, but whether or not your religion is healthy and vital and living and real. Whether your relationship with God is reconciled and alive with the power of the Holy Spirit. And that's what Winslow is after in this book. He's after the revival of a vibrant, robust relationship with God. And the greatest threat to that is what he calls personal declension. Declension. It's also not a word that we typically use today. But you can hear, kids, the word decline within the word declension. This is a spiritual decline. And it's not a good kind of decline. We've been seeing, as we've studied humility, that there is a good kind of downward growth. We grow downward in humility. But the declension that Winslow is talking about here is not growth. This is a stagnation spiritually. This is a decline of love towards the Lord, a decline of desire towards Him, a decline of delight in Him. And Winslow spends this book unpacking the nature of that declension, which all of our souls are prone to. He then helps us to understand how to war against it and how to promote the opposite of it, namely revival. The reviving of Holy Spirit wrought affection for God, and Holy Spirit wrought communion with God. That's what this little book is about, and that's what we're going to be spending the next number of weeks considering together. He begins in the preface lamenting the fast-paced world in which he lives, and that the church is in such a frenzy of activity that she hasn't taken time to just stop and consider the state of her religion. Now, if that was true in the 19th century, how much more so is it true of us today, friends? And I just want to encourage us as a church to just hit the pause button. I was able to do that during my study break, to just hit the pause button and say, as Winslow asks here in the preface, what is the present spiritual state of my soul before God? I want you to just take a few minutes at some point this weekend and just ponder that question. What is the present spiritual state of my soul before God? Is my soul revived with vibrant love and devotion and affection towards the Lord? Or is my soul on the decline? Are my affections cold? Am I indifferent towards the things of God? Is there compromise, morally speaking, in my life, and apathy towards that? We need to take a good look at our own hearts, and we need to take a good look at our life together as a congregation. So this book is about personal declension, but I want us to be thinking about how it applies more broadly to corporate declension, because there is such a thing as that, and there's also such a thing as corporate revival, and we need to be pursuing after such revival of religion, not only on a personal level, but also on a church-wide level. And so, friends, over these next weeks, we will wrestle with that together. And I just encourage you to lean in. I encourage you to order a copy of this and to work through it together as we do through these videos, to read it and to think upon it and to wrestle with it for yourself. I look forward to gathering with you again this coming Lord's Day. We're going to be looking both in the morning and in the evening in two very different texts. One, the end of Acts 2, and the other, Psalm 84. We're going to be looking at the blessing of the church of Jesus Christ. And so let's be praying and asking the Lord to prepare our hearts, to till the soil of our hearts, that we might receive his word and respond to it in prayer and praise and adoration. I'll see you on Sunday.